And the last time I recorded my video to now, the Department of Defense is now the Department of War. Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Brandon Wheeler. I am detailing my Army story and everything when I was in the Army and everything like that. It's been a while since I last did a video. It was back in July 24th. I'm like, uh, really? That long ago? Almost 5 months ago? Sorry. Just got busy with other things and everything like that. So, despite trying to do an every Monday thing, that's not going to happen. So, I'm just going to get to it when I can. But I will post them on Monday as far as all the Army stuff and everything like that. Why do I have a straw in my mouth? Long story short, Army injury related to heat, which when that comes up, you'll see. But I can't talk right unless I bite down something. So that's my fifth. I can shorten it and everything, but when I'm at home, I just use long straws. It's just more comfortable and everything for me. So, going back to talk about my Army stuff and everything, I looked at where I was at in the last video where I talked about the Fit to Win course and the ACFT. I'm going to backtrack with my letters a little bit because the letters I wrote were kind of almost like a like a journal in a way. But that's that. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit. But first things first, everything I say is not reflective of the Department of the Army, the Department of Defense now slash war thing, anything governmental. All comments are my own. Blah 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 blah. My Army experience would be completely different than yours, also because era, time, and blah blah blah. Now that I got that out of the way, let's begin. I served from September 2020 to February 2024, so about 3.5 years. All right. I went to Fort Jackson. I was part of the, I forget, Alpha thingamajig. 40 rounds. That's what we were. All right. So I'm going to backtrack to some letters I had. Because seemingly I went to the head to the ACFT thing, which happened on October 7th. But I'm going to backtrack to September 30th for something to talk about it, which you can tell from the title of this what it's about. So let's get into that. I'm skipping over some things and all that. One thing that's interesting, I remember reading from here. Like I said, is like no squirrels here. I haven't seen any. Do have lots of geese though. Seriously, they're everywhere and walk around. So good to see them and around every day. Wonder if it gets colder if they leave. Now, for some reason at Fort Jackson, besides some trees and stuff around, didn't see one squirrel while I was there. Not one. It's weird. I was like, where are all the squirrels? There's no squirrels. And didn't see one freaking squirrel anywhere. Saw geese. Saw geese every day and everything. Didn't see one sinking squirrel, which is just unusual. I'm like, why is there no squirrels? Alrighty. But anyway. Okay, so COVID results came in because we had to get tests for COVID and everything. This is the height of the COVID and everything. Yes, this is why my military thing would be different than yours because I had to go in and I had to wear a freaking mask. Which, if you don't remember what the mask things were, remember this crap? Remember having to do this during that whole time? That's what I had to do during this whole time. Except when we were in basic, this was made for me by some old friends and everything that I had. I just happened to have this still around, and I was just looking at this like, this is a memory I don't ever want to go back to, which I'll get into more of that. But in basic, we had to wear these black masks. We couldn't wear colored ones or anything like that. We had to wear these black ones and stuff. It sucked. Trust me, it sucked so much. We had to carry them with us all around. Couldn't. The only time we could take them off is when we were separated and training and stuff. Like, okay, arms length spread out. Then you had to take them off and everything like that. It sucked. This is part of the reason why your basic would be different than mine because you don't have to do that. But a lot of different stuff we could have done. Nope, I had to wear a stupid mask. It was just. Alrighty, so back to the letter. This is for September 30th, 2020. So COVID results came in. We had one case in our platoon. His last name is John Charles. I think he's 18 years old, so he's now been put into quarantine. And if I remember right, the John Charles, he was probably the fastest guy in the entire platoon that we had. Probably the entire company. He might have been the fastest guy in the entire company. He was fast, but yeah, he got related to COVID. And if you got stuck into COVID and the quarantine thing, you basically get recycled. Unfortunately, because that you had to be out for the 2 weeks and stuff, and it's just that sucks. So I think he's put in quarantine. He'll be there till better. Then we'll latch into a different group. He's no longer part of ours. Be praying for him. Thing is, third platoon, because I was in second platoon at the time. Then eventually I get switched. They divvy up everybody when they introduce the females into everything. I get put into first platoon later on, but this is still in that time where I'm still part of second platoon. So, thing is, third platoon from this thing is third platoon, first and fourth platoon, the female ones, because the fourth one was females at the time, were clear. So no one was in the first and fourth, but the third platoon, third had 21 cases of COVID. So a total of 22 with the one that we had. We were supposed to move into the building they were in, but not anymore. Not till this is all clean. Plus, we were supposed to combine platoons in a way that takes some form and put into another. That's what I was talking about. But with that many, I'm not sure if that will be now. So if I get moved into a different platoon, I'll let you know. My platoon number will change, but that is even if I get moved. Hopefully, I stay in the same thing. Got some more gear today: a raincoat, fleece sweater. I'll talk about that. Eye protection, glasses, the gator neck. Never use that. The mask that's around your neck. That's what that is. Supposed to get more, but that'll be in the next few days. Let me talk about the fleece sweater. You will enjoy your fleece. You will love your fleece. You will sleep with your fleece. It will be the only thing you will ever get to wear in the cold. A fleece sweater. If there's anything you probably keep, that'd probably be the one thing you keep. Velcro name tag skin, that thing. Forget about it. It's going to die off eventually because the Velcro just sucks. The fleece sweater. In my entire Army career, that's probably the only thing I got to wear more than anything else besides a regular uniform. Here's the thing: you have heavier stuff. They give us, like in the unit and everything, I would get like these marshmallow suits. Never got to wear those, even though it was cold. Never got to wear them. The tankers, in my actual job, when we did stuff in Poland and everything, when I was actually snowing and crap outside, we dropped off ammo to the tankers one time, and I could see them because they sleep out in their tanks and stuff. They had their marshmallow gear on. I'm like, I wish I could put that crap on, but nope. All for the rest of us, you can only wear the fleece. And here's the thing: your command often puts things at certain weather types, like, oh, at certain weathers you can only wear this, this, and this. Not considered cold enough to ever wear the marshmallow stuff. Not, to be fair, we never were outside like that long in any of that. But tankers were, so yeah, understandable. But the fleece, Korea, there, home, doesn't matter. You can only wear the fleece during that time. But at certain temperatures, like, you're not allowed to wear the fleece. You have to take it off. Mind you, it could be 40 degrees in the morning, and all you're out is like in long sleeve shirt and shorts for PT practice, and it's just like, but it's cold. Like, take off the fleece. Not to be wearing the fleece during that time anyway. Oh yeah, it's too warm to be wearing a long sleeve shirt. Switch out to a short sleeve. Why? It's cold. Too warm. Take it off. Because they go by the temperature things and stuff like that. So, but I remember the one time where the marshmallow would have been great. Which, when I get to this story about the AIT at Leonard Wood, Lost in the Woods, during that winter period, it was like a bomb cyclone, the winter cold and everything out there. So I'm from Georgia and everything, mind you, and I can maybe imagine. I think I can count twice where even with the wind chill, it's gotten down to below zero. Out there, but with the snow and the ice, I hated the ice. At Leonardwood, negative 10 degrees. Couldn't wear the marshmallow suit, only the fleece. And mind you, that fleece is only rated for certain things, so we were freezing. Good luck staying warm with just that. It's comfortable, makes a great pillow. If you want to just use a pillow at night, just take that, put it on for a pillow. It's great, but no. The fleece is the one thing. It's just like, oh boy. Now, continuing on back to the letter. We got 3 people, I think, quitting, plus not sure if the one guy who I've mentioned before is staying around due to all the counseling, so that dwindles down even further. But some just see they don't want to be here, so at least they tried and decided against doing more, although just another new guy had to collect his stuff, no clue. Oh, now another guy, not a new guy. He was originally cleared. Did something happen? No idea what's going on, but be praying. Uh, okay, seemingly from what guys were there saying, the other guy did in fact have it seemingly. The results they got earlier weren't complete. I'll give info when I get. Alright, I believe what this is talking about, I can't remember the guy's name. I think it was like Mason or something. He was a very tall guy. He had a big nose. Like, even though he had a big nose, his mask was like sitting way off of his face. He had a very small mask for what he was trying to have for his face and everything. It's like, that doesn't fit you, dude, but that's what he had. And yeah, supposedly what I remember is that he got COVID, and because at the time and everything, COVID being big and it's like, is it really dangerous or anything? You can look back at the time and think of like, oh, COVID's not that big of a deal or anything like that. you may have those thoughts, but different people had different experiences with it, so don't, say stuff or anything. But at the time, especially during the height of everything, it was going to be a certain way. And he was flipping out about it and everything during the time. So, one moment.
A few moments later.
All right, back. Sorry, I had to answer a phone call from my brother. Alrighty, so, uh, again, we're backtracking a little bit and everything. Going back to October 1st and everything. And everything else. And we're going to get into October 2nd because that's going to be a big deal. Talk a little bit about First Platoon and everything, about the hot A's, which we talked about. They're just containers and everything. I mentioned this before about the girls getting smoked one particular time, and they did. In the letter from October 1st. So, 4 Platoon, the girls got smoked hard. First, they didn't dress an officer. Then, one girl got an attitude. She got 2 of the lady drill sergeants in her face. It was actually scary watching all that. We were all looking at each other silently agreeing we don't want that to happen to us. That's basically what I was saying from that other thing. And I seemingly wrote a lot of this letter when I was doing Fire Guard. Such Firewatch, whatever you want to, whatever the heck you want to say. So, but that's what I was talking about with that. Let me find out where it is. Alright. This is October 3rd, I guess. Well, it's Saturday. We got our haircuts. See, when I went in the Army, I shaved my head beforehand and everything. Had to get shaved again during basic. But this is the first time everyone else had their shaving their head and everything. So because I shaved my head beforehand, I was more used to it. But it was just, we didn't go to the PX, but I couldn't get as much paper as I wanted. I did get pens and stamps, so I used the paper for now to write on. This letter cover. See, this is the stationery that we had. It's either the regular paper, like I brought with me sometimes, or the stationery that you would get. This is what you can get at the thing at the time. Well, Saturday night, we had another thing happen. 2 guys were playing around while we were trying to get ready to serve chow. I saw them doing it, saw the female platoon in front of us watching, and remembered all about not acting a fool and having discipline, or we were going to get smoked. I told them to stop. I did. I really did. They didn't listen. The drill sergeant came over to discipline them. Well, we would be 2 after chow. We had to do uniform drills, which is the small amount of time, like 7 minutes to change the different things. Some things like our new stuff we haven't even opened yet. I put on full OCP uniform with vests, with armor and rucksack. Next one was boot and green sock and everything. Okay, I can just tell you what happened here by memory. We arranged in the room. Drill Sergeant Daria, our female drill sergeant, she was just there. She was filing her nails. She was acting all calm-like, which was what made it so uneasy. I was just like, okay, what's going on here? Why is she being very uneasy? And she's like, I know how to handle all of you. And I was like, what's going on? Because again, when you screw up or someone else screws up, it screws over everyone. Just so you know, it screws over everyone. I don't even remember what the guys did, but it screws over everyone. Just letting you know. Well, again, the uniform drills, like I was saying, we had to go up, switch out, and change everything. And sometimes the directions were completely stupid. Like, next one was a boot and green sock on one. The other was a PT shoe and black sock. And an assault pack on. Just different combinations that I had to do it. 4 times, quickly. And each time people were late, I messed up as my boot lace wasn't tucked in. And I had to do the wrong shirt on because I didn't hear it. And different things like having a helmet on and not having a helmet on. Everyone's like, what? Here's the thing. People were leaving their stuff out because everyone was trying to change as fast as they could because we had to go down to the room and then we were told like, okay, do this and then run back upstairs and change out and come back down in a certain amount of time. I think I mentioned this before about locking your locker. Every time I did this, I made sure to lock my locker back up. I threw everything back in the locker. And the last time we did, I made sure I closed my locker and locked it. You see, up until that time, everyone was just busy changing their clothes because they want to say, hey, if we're going to be wrong, let's just go down together and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm just going to go down. I changed as quickly as I could, did my locker, and went down. They were not putting their stuff back in the locker. So, let's read what happened, shall we? But that's not the big thing. Oh no. You see, people were leaving their stuff out to change more quickly, but it didn't help. I was one of the few, if not maybe the only one, I think, to put all my stuff back in the locker and locked it. I definitely thought to tell everyone to do the same, but I believe someone did already, which those who heard him ignored. They thought nothing of it, or nothing would come of it. Well, they were very, very wrong. Uh, I've mentioned how the Bay Monster destroys bays, right? Well, while we were downstairs, that happened. Another drill sergeant came in, where the other ones came up there. Drill Sergeant Dario and the other drill sergeants were laughing. We're going upstairs, and you could hear everything. You hear metal being scraped, stuff banging on the floor, everything, while this other drill sergeant down there smoked us. All right, they pulled and poured out everyone's stuff. Mine was left untouched, but the only thing that happened to my locker, because my locker was locked, so they couldn't do anything. They just tipped my locker over, like towards my bed. My shower shoes that were on top, um, they threw them around, but that was about it. I haven't found them. I didn't find them yet. I'm not sure if I ever did find them. Someone gave me their spare. Oh, that's nice. Meanwhile, we downstairs were having to do push-ups after push-up after push-up. When I say we probably did like 200 push-ups, that's not an exaggeration. Whether I actually managed that or not, I don't think so. But sometimes we have to just stay in the down position for long periods of time. And again, we have different types of gear on all the time. I couldn't keep up. No one could really. And this drill sergeant that came in and talked with us, he was one of the nose drill sergeant, and I would say he was more kind of the quote unquote laid back drill sergeants from what I can tell. He was on a different platoon. I didn't really see him that much, but he was just like, get down, get your effing back down. And everyone was like, whoa. You see, when the quiet drill sergeants who don't curse or are not loud all of a sudden get loud and curse, it's just like, what's going on? And that's what happened in this instant, because I remember that, because, you're trying to be down and everything. You have to keep your back straight, but you're tight, so you're kind of leaning for a back. He's like, get down, get your back down. I'm like, what? It was bad. I couldn't keep up. No one really could. I had times I couldn't even get up. I was physically beyond my limit, and I just busted out crying, having this mask on, trying to breathe because we still had the freaking mask on. We couldn't take them off, and it just made it worse. Then we had to come upstairs and clean. I think I was already planning on reorganizing. And first note from Sunday, October 4th, the morning after. So making this morning understandable. Yeah, it took us hours to get everything together because it was a mess, the worst mess ever. But the worst smoke session, having to change all the gear and stuff like that, change clothes, go back up, go back down, go back up, go back down. The worst ever, and just how everything was mixed up. I think even like shoes were tied together, locks were spread all over the place. So again, if you were watching this, lock your locker after every time. Trust me. Don't even think like, well, maybe after the third time they do it, but I'll keep it open for the second time. No, every time lock your locker. Trust me, every time, because they can't necessarily break into the locker. I mean, the only thing they could do is like flip your locker over if it busts open from that, which my stuff did bust through the locker when they tipped it over, but because it's all still right there, I had all my own stuff. I didn't have to go searching around for everything, I guess, except the shower shoes. So trust me, have your locker locked. All right, this is interesting. October 4th. Today we got inside of the defect for the first time. They have a very specific way to go inside and go through the lines. I got eggs, pancakes, bacon, some grapes from the salad bar, and a hash brown. That was not the best, but the rest was all right. You have to move fast and orderly through, plus drink station as well. I got water, but not much milk because I didn't know how to work the machine. That's funny. So I was like, all right, I didn't know how to work the machine. This is all while drill sergeants were yelling, fixing every small thing wrong, and very loudly, so it was a bit stressful. I'm not sure if we were doing this every day or just Sunday. Guess I can ask later. Either way, we will find out. Alrighty, so I may have a chance to serve in there, though. They had some from the female platoon serving there, and I did get to serve in there once. I think I only got to do it once. Out of all the times that we went there, I think I only do it once. Interesting. We'll talk about the DFAC and stuff later. I may mention this notes later, but I'll just mention now how eventually the DFAC became more of the mainstay, except during lunch. But every time we went there, at the times, like in order to go in, you had to say like the different things, like say the functions of doing the weapon, or say the different like like what is leadership? You have to say the things like loyalty, duty, honor, respect, and you have to do it while you're in line before you get in and start over for each line row. It gets more relaxed the more you're further through basic. It seemed again with COVID and everything like that. You're basically there. You have to eat, can't talk or anything. You just eat, get out there and wait in line and stuff. It's just like, So I talk about going to service. You have to be fully dressed in OCP uniform and everything. I'm not sure if that means we're going to a physical chapel or video somewhere, but we went to the physical chapel and everything. Um, that was about it. Oh, from October 4th. And that's when I start talking about the Victory Tower on the next day. So I know I backtracked a little bit, but I wanted to highlight the COVID and the worst smoke session ever. So during that time, because that's something unique during my time about the COVID thing that hopefully none of you would have to experience again. But the smoke session, oh no, that's for you could experience that anytime during basic. Just know this: if someone screws up, all of you screw up. It doesn't matter even if you because you want you to police your battle buddy. Well, some guys don't want to be policed. So yeah. So I'm going to try to look ahead and see where I can start getting into the actual red phase thing of the hammer and everything else like that. I'm going to try to look for where that section is next because that's a very good one to get into. All right, well, we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.